Welcome to another video, guys. Today I'll be looking at the Hearthstone Top Decks after the Shaman Nerfs. The nerfs didn't seem like much, but so far they seem to be doing their job. So in this video we will see what are the top performing decks, how to mulligan with them, their matchups, and if they're worth the craft. If you find the video helpful, a like and a subscribe really helps me out. If you want to see the decks in action, drop by my stream tonight as well. Now let's see the decks. There are quite a few pretty good decks from almost all of the classes, but let's see what I chose for my top 5. The first class on my list would be Warrior. We are seeing quite a few Warrior archetypes that are rising in power in the past few days, ranging from Pirate to Tempo to Highlander to Control, but the one I want to talk about would be Galakrond Warrior. Yes, Pirate Warrior is pretty strong right now, but everyone has seen it already. Control Warrior is also old news, so let's focus on the new and fresh Galakrond Warrior. This deck is really fun to play and it has so much phase damage and control tools in it. The Galakrond Invoke is very powerful as well, and you can do a lot of phase damage with it if you use it properly. With this deck, you want to invoke your Galakrond ASAP, so you get those extra buffed minions and your weapon swings. You have a lot of cycle cards in this deck, so usually that shouldn't be a problem for you. The matchups look like this. Quest Resurrect Priest rose in power in the past few days, which is your worst matchup, so if you see too many of those, maybe consider switching the deck. Control Warrior is also trying to get back into the meta, and that's a no-no matchup for you as well. Other than that, you should have no problem climbing with this deck. In the mulligan, keeping Krunks and Galakrond is not a bad idea for you, since you rely on them quite a lot. Towncrier, Ethereum Rover, and Acolyte of Pain is also not a bad keep, and Ritual Chopper and Shield of Galakrond would also help you quite a lot. Consider what you might be facing, and you might want to keep Awaken and Warpath for the early game as well. Do I advise you to craft this deck? Well, it's still a bit dangerous crafting decks in this new unrefined meta, but I think this deck is worth it. All of the legendaries are safe crafts, and we get the Galakrond for free, so the price drops under 9k. If you enjoy the Warrior class, I'd say this deck would be worth it for you, but in the end, it's your decision to make. Next, let's talk about Paladin. Right now, the only Paladin deck above 50% win rate from rank 5 to Legend would be Mech Paladin. Pure Paladin, Highlander Paladin, and Holy Wrath Paladin still exist, but their win rate is far below this one, so let's talk about it. This deck rose in power quite fast after Galakrond nerfs, and it's pretty interesting. You can go slow and greedy with it, or you can go fast and zerg your opponent with small cheap mechs. Sometimes you will find it hard to identify which strategy you should be playing for, but with time you should get the hang of it. The meta is still pretty new as well, so it would be pretty hard for you to really understand what you're playing against. The deck also runs Kangor's Army, but most of the time that card will feel bad for you, since you have so many small token mechs in here. It's almost impossible to get good mechs out of it, so try the deck without it if you don't own it. Not too many games with this deck so far, but here are some matchups. You shouldn't see too many Galakrond Shamans anymore, and you don't see too many Highlander Mages either, so you can mark those off from this table. Galakrond Warrior and Galakrond Warlock would be a problem for you, but anything else would be in the green for you. For the mulligan, Crystology is always a keep. Galvanizer, Glowtron, Micro Mummy, and Hot Air Balloon can also be a keep for you if you're going for the early game board, but if you're going for the greedy strategy, Glowstone would be the keep. This deck isn't too expensive since Snip Snap was free for most of us and Zilliax is a must craft anyway. If you have most of the other cards, try the deck out, but don't craft Kangors for it. It's just not worth it. Now, let's see how Priest is doing. Right now, Combo Priest is in tier 1 back again, but Quest Resurrect Priest is also next to it, which is quite new. Combo Priest is literally untouched from the new meta, so I won't talk about it. You can just watch a previous top 5 of mine, where I showcase that deck. Let's see what Quest Resurrect Priest has to offer. Well, it has only 2 new cards from Descent of Dragons, but still, it's something. Getting the early game board clear for this deck is pretty strong, so it can handle those early game token boards. It doesn't even run a single dragon in it, but to be honest, you won't really care for the 2 damage on your own minions, cause your cheapest minion is at 4 mana anyway. The quest here is pretty powerful for the priest as well, cause it forces your opponent not to go face for you too much, because you just want the hero power early on anyway. The worst matchups for you here would be the high value decks like Galakrond Rogue and Highlander Mage. Token Druid can also be hard, but most of the time you will be hell for them as well. Other than that, you should have no problem with most of the other decks, especially for the unrefined ones. For the mulligan, you want to survive to the mid game, so taking some early game control tools should help you out. Vargot, Infiltrator and Zilliax would be your best early game minions, and you can revive them over and over after that. If you're feeling lucky, you can even keep Xerx's Cloning Gallery, but I think that would be a bit too greedy. This deck is a bit on the expensive side, so I can't really advise you to craft it. Historically, this deck hasn't been doing too well, so I can't say if the meta will let it remain in tier 1 for too long. If you really want to play Priest, I'd say Combo Priest would be your safer bet, cause apparently it doesn't really care what meta we're playing in, it's just too broken and it keeps on giving good results, for just a fraction of the cost of Resurrect Priest. Up next is Hunter. Face Hunter was all the rage these past few weeks, but after the Shaman Nerfs it seems to have fallen in power. Highlander Dragon Hunter and Quest Hunter seemed to be doing pretty good as well, but now the secret Highlander Hunter from the past is what has the highest win rate. 5 new cards have been included from the new expansion here. Varanus and Dragon Queen Alexstrasza give a lot of new power for the deck, but make it slightly more expensive as well. We don't run Subject 9 in the deck anymore, so that kind of balances it out. Not much else to say about it. It's still the same powerhouse from before, so now let's move down to the matchups. Token Druids, Pirate Warriors and Face Hunters would be your worst matchups after the nerfs. Other than that, the grass is very green here, so it would be an easy climb for you with this deck, if you learn it properly. For the Mulligan, you always want your mini Subject 9, aka Face Stalker. Dwarven Sharpshooter, Rat Trap, Secret Keeper and Zephyrus are also great. Depending on the matchup, you can keep Desert Spear, Explosive and Snake Trap and Spring Paw as well. Anything else should pretty much go back the way it came. Should you craft this deck? Well, for 15k, probably no. But if you have this deck from the past, you should definitely invest in it and keep on rocking with it. And the last class we will talk about is Warlock. The 2 working decks here would be Hand Warlock and Zoo Galakrond. The Handlock can be pretty good, but it's super expensive and quite difficult to pilot as well. So let's talk about Galakrond Zoo instead. Nothing too fancy here, it's just your typical Zoolock with the Galakrond package fit into it. You just play it out like your typical Zoolock, and when you run out of steam, you just jam your worshippers for that extra card draw. Galakrond can also be quite a good board refill for you if you invoke it fast enough, and the weapon helps your cause even further. You don't have too many popular bad matchups. Galakrond Warrior might be a problem for you, but your other bad matchups are a rare sight nowadays at higher ranks, so you should be good. Nothing too special about the Mulligan, you just want your 1-drops and your early game invoke cards. Everything else is a dump. Is it worth the craft? Well, it's not too bad and it's not too expensive. Zoolock always finds a way back into the meta, so in the long run, you will probably be using the core of this deck in the future as well, so it's probably not gonna be a bad idea for you. So these are my top 5 decks so far. Highlander, Galakrond Rogue, Galakrond Shaman and Token Druid are also doing quite well, but I can't fit everything into a top 5. I hope this video helped you, and if it did, a like and a subscribe would really be appreciated. Thanks for watching guys, I'm Kris O Five, and I'll see you in my next video.